getting extreme
with your local civil servants.
You and I recently went whitewater rafting together.
Yes.
Have you been whitewater rafting before?
I have. This was my third time on the Concord River when we went. I had been the 2 years previous to that. I also went some years ago up to the Forks up in Maine. When I first did the Concord the first year, I didn't have as much respect for it as I should have had. But obviously it was a great time and enough for me to go, the 2 years after that too.
Right.
It's probably the only place in New England where you can go whitewater rafting in an urban setting.
Yeah.
And when I tell people down at the State House and so forth that you can go whitewater rafting in Lowell, they have a hard time believing.
Ranking, was whitewater rafting with me like substantially more fun?
Absolutely.
I had a feeling it was very cold.
Well, the water is cold. I mean, they give you a wetsuit. For the thrill, it's worth the little bit of discomfort that you can have. And I've gone 3 times. It hasn't been cold every time. The second year that I did it, I believe it was the second of the 3 years, New Hampshire Chronicle covered it. So I was in the raft with people that had helmet cameras and so forth.
The footage that I got the day that we went, I didn't realize until I checked it out. I should apologize for all the cursing that I did. And when we played it back, I was the only one on camera just freaking out, and you guys were all pros. So my apologies for the inappropriate language.
I've gone with kids from students from Lowell High School, also from the Boys and Girls Club. They won't have an opportunity for that experience.
Yeah.
So it was good to see them there, and they just have a blast. The Concord River from when you're on the river looks a lot different than
It
when
does.
you're on the And the same thing is true for the Merrimack. I think when you're out on the Merrimack, there are segments of it where it's very remote and kind of wild. It's a lot of wildlife and so forth, which is a different experience than if you're just standing on the bank looking at the river.
Is there any other extreme type of stuff that you're into? Would you go bungee jumping? Could I take you in a hot air balloon?
I don't think I would do any of that. I've done a lot of hiking and a lot of backpacking in my earlier days, and some of that backpacking has been in the winter. My cousin and I did the Presidential Range in February one year, which was 4 nights, sleeping in a tent above tree line. That was pretty extreme, and it was a great time. We had, for the most part, we had really good weather. And when you go in the wintertime, there's not that many people.
Right.
So there were a couple of days.
And less
when we
mosquitoes,
had,
like
no,
like
right,
bugs
no
and
mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And we had days when there was like complete silence, other than when we were talking to each other. There was just total silence. People don't experience total silence that much.
Yeah.
There's always some sort of background noise.
Especially if I'm around.
But
That's very cool.
those were good times. But I would highly recommend whitewater rafting on the Concord River to anybody. It's a pretty short season, as you know, just 5 or 6 weeks, and it's run by Zor, who does whitewater rafting out in Western Mass. They're great and very good with their guests or clients.
Yeah, I was really seriously like, do not let me fall in that river. And they stood by it. They made sure I stayed in the boat, so that was very cool.
It's a lot of fun. I just highly recommend it, and I love it that Lowell has that.
Yeah, Lowell's my favorite city in the whole wide world, and it's really cool that there's a little adventure hidden in the city that's just this little gem. I would love to come with you if you go next year, and I guess if the hot air balloon is out, maybe karaoke? Some karaoke?
If I had my choice between karaoke and the hot air balloon, I might choose the hot air balloon.
I like that a lot. Thank you so much for sitting with me. And here is some footage of us whitewater rafting together. Take a look.
Our first raft is called Twisted Sister. Keep going up. Keep going up forward. Watch your face! Watch your face! I thought the Highlands were like the nice part of Lowell. That's Belvedere.
Yeah, Belvedere is the nice part. That's where all the rich people are.
Oh, what grade are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore.
I like this level of education I got.
I probably learn more here than ever.
I'm 35 and I'm here to tell you that's true.
Let's go
You are
forward.
right.
There's a boat coming down right now. Hold on, hold on. Let's go forward. She's in there good. I'm gonna try not to run over your line.
You son of... The senator is in this boat. Have some respect, Matthew. I didn't swear. I said have respect.
Let's go forward. 3. We're going to pull out right in front of it. Kind of climb the wall right there. The Senator falls. I want this film destroyed.
I really like the senator a lot, so I have no problem with that. I'm a fan.
Full of water.